Hey guys, Guiding Magic back again, and this is part 2 of the deep dive into the new GLINT system for the reward shop. So in part 1, we just to recap, we just kind of looked at how much GLINT you'd have to spend on each of your chests, what the pricing would be for each one, how much GLINT you would have to spend, the price appreciation, like how much GLINT it's going to cost, how fastly the costs increase, and all of that. Part 2, we're going to look at how to maximize the number of cards that you get. So if you're simply looking at, I want to get the most cards I can for the least amount of glint, we'll go through that. And then we're also in part 2 going to look at how to maximize your chances of getting gold foil and legendary cards. So the first thing, and you can do this yourself, you can look on Splinterlands. If you go to Splinterlands, and let's just go to the main page just so I can show you again how to get to the shop. I'm sure most people know how to do this, but what you will do is you will click on the little icon for shop. As soon as it loads here, I will show you that. So right here, there's a little shop tab, so you'll click on this. This will bring you to your shop. And then if you click on this icon on the top right, it will pull up the soulbound card draws and give a little information on it, and then it will have two charts which show the first one shows the rarity chance for each draw, like what are your chances of getting commons all the way up to legendary and gold foil, and then the bottom table will show you how many cards you will get for each draw. So you can look that up yourself. I kind of copied it here just to put it all on one page. So if you're going to go for the initiate, which is the cheapest draw, no matter what, you're always going to get one card. You're never going to get more than that. So you're either going to get a regular foil or one gold foil. There's nothing else you can get. One is all you get. That's why it's the cheapest. So then if you move to Adept, which is what used to be the silver level, you can get from 1 to 3 common cards, 1 to 2 rare cards, or you can simply get one copy of any gold foil, one epic, one legendary. As you can see, as you move to veteran, you get more commons, you get a chance at more rares and epics and so on. But what I wanted to do for this is let's just kind of look at the averages. Because yes, you can get 1 to 7 cards in a veteran chest, but on average you're going to probably get 4. So some chests are going to be, going to be the bad RNG where you only get 1. The other ones will be great where you get the max at 7. But you kind of just take the average right down the middle. So if you're looking at just the average number of cards you're going to get per draw, for common, of course, you're only getting 1 for the initiate. You're going to get 1 of each. For the adept, on average, you're going to get 2 commons. You're going to get 1.5 rares. So you can't get half a card, but basically what this means is one chest you're going to get 1, the next chest you're going to get 2 on average. So it'll average out to 1.5. For veteran, you're going to average 4 commons, 3 rares, 1.5 for epic. If you get a legendary, you're only going to get 1. For your elite chest, if you get a common, you'll get 6. If you get a rare, on average, you'll get 5. For your epic and legendary, if it's 1.5, just the way the math works out. The interesting thing is for the legendaries, if you get a regular foil, it's 1.5, but if you get a gold foil, the average is 2. So it's kind of funny that on average, you're going to get more gold foil legendaries than you're going to get regular foil. Just kind of funny how that works out. So we're going to look at how much glint you spend and basically what you get on average. Now, of course, like I said, there's going to be some instances where you go way above average, you hit the max. There's going to be other instances where you buy that master chest and you get 1 common, which really stinks. So we're just going to look at averages. And we're also going to look at not using potions. So this is just spending a certain amount of glint, buying that type of chest, how many chests you buy, how many cards, rarity, and all that. For most all of these you're going to see are going to be commons and rares. To get a guaranteed epic card, to get an epic draw, this is how many of each chest you're going to have to purchase. So on average, you're going to have to get up to 200 initiate chests to basically be able to get 1 epic card or 1 epic draw guaranteed. You're going to have to get 50 adept draws to get an epic, 30 veteran, 20 elite, or 13 master. Just the way that the math works out for you to basically get guaranteed an epic card. For legendaries, there's almost no chance whatsoever of getting a legendary in initiate chest. If you do, you just hit the lottery. Very difficult to get it at a depth level. A little bit easier to get it at veteran, but still you're looking at 100 veteran draws to get one legendary, 63 elite, and then 32 master. So once you hit 63 elite chests, I basically figured in, okay, you're going to get one legendary card out of that, and then I did the numbers accordingly. So let's start at the beginning. So we're just going to work our way up from a low amount of glint spent on up. What chests that you end up purchasing, and on average, what cards are you going to get? So if you spend 1,000 glint or less, that's going to allow you to get 6 initiate chests. Those are chests, of course, you only get 1 card per chest, so you're going to get 6 cards guaranteed. And on average, 5 of those should be common and 1 of those should be rare. For a depth with 1,000 glint, you can only get 2 chests. They cost 400 each, so you would have 200 glint left over. And on average, those 2 chests are going to have a total of 4 cards. You're going to get 2 common draws, and on average, each one has 2 cards. So veteran, you'll be able to buy just 1 chest. For veteran, you can get anywhere from 1 to 7 cards. So you may get lucky. You may get 7, which would be better than buying 6 initiate chests. Or you could do very poorly and you could only get 1 card. But on average, you're going to get 4 cards. So for the first example, you can see, of course, the best thing to do is just buy your 6 initiate chests, get your 6 cards. Okay, so moving on up to 1600, pretty much the same thing. The best thing to do is to buy the initiate chests. You would be able to buy 10. You would get 10 cards, and on an average, 2 of those would be rare. So not only are you getting the most cards, you're pretty much getting the most guaranteed rare cards. So I'll let you guys read these as I scroll through them. Don't really need to go through a whole lot, going through the first like 5,000 to 10,000 glint spent. You can see it pretty much is consistent where initiate is basically the way to go to get the most bang for your buck. You know, you're guaranteed 1 card per, but because of the costs, even though you can buy a higher, basically a higher rarity chest, you're buying fewer of them. So overall, it brings your average down compared to getting, you know, basically 1 card per for the amount of initiate chests that you can buy. But then you can see the numbers start getting closer where it's not so much of a spread. Once you get up to 10,000 is where it first starts to turn, where initiate chests really aren't the best deal anymore. So once you hit 10,000, you're able to buy 34 initiate chests. So you're going to get 34 cards. On average, 27 common, 7 rare. Not too bad. But by now, you're getting to the point where you can buy 20 adept cards or 20 adept draws. And those on average, out of those 20 draws, 16 of them should be common, 4 should be rare. So since you're getting 2 cards per draw for a common, that equates to 32 commons, and then you're getting basically 1.5 rares per draw, so that comes out to 6. So now you start seeing where, on average, your adept and your veteran both start to surpass your initiate. So elite and master are still, you know, for the price, you're really not getting the number of cards. Now you may get lucky and you may get an epic or a legendary, but for this example, we're just looking at trying to get the most cards possible. So under 10,000, it looks like the best thing to do is just go for initiate. And then once you get above 10,000, so let's start going here, you can see that the adept and the veteran start surpassing the initiate just because of the multipliers that you get for adept and veteran cards. So adept and veteran are pretty much neck and neck, and now you can see once you get to 20,000, veteran starts pulling away a little bit on the average from the adept. So for spending 20,000 glint, you're getting a little bit more on average cards than you are at veteran than adept. So you've got 4 more cards on average right here. Once you get to 30,000, now you're looking at about 12 more cards, veteran to adept. 40,000, you're getting, you know, 18 cards more. get to 50,000, get 20 some cards more. So veteran seems to be the way to go once you get above 10,000. And that seems to take place all the way up to 100,000, even 150,000. So let's go to 200,000. 200,000, veteran is still in the lead. Elite is still decently close. And like I said, these are averages. So you may get an instance where, let's say you buy 39 elite chests and maybe you get more than 217, and maybe it makes it a little bit worth it more than veteran. But like I said, it's hard to tell with the RNG and the averages. So now let's go to 250,000. So at 250,000, this was the first instance where I saw, at least for the average, where elite overtook veteran. So 200,000 and down to 10,000, it looks like veteran is the best way to go. Once you start getting to 250,000 and above, just for a sheer number of cards, you can see elite is pretty much the same, just slightly ahead. Once you get to 300,000, it's still pretty close, like 5 more cards on average. But then you hit 400,000, now you're hitting close to 300 cards on average for elite, down to 276 for veteran. So this is where, an extra, 22 cards may be useful. You start hitting 500,000 glint. So if you save up all your glint, just spend 500,000 right at the end. You could get 123 initiate chests, so you're only getting 123 cards. If you want adept, you'd get a little over 100. So now is when you start getting, a decent amount of epics as well. So let me scroll back a little bit. So you really don't get any guaranteed epics at all until you hit the 75,000 glint mark. Once you start spending 75,000 glint right at the beginning is where you start getting pretty much guaranteed from adept on up that you're going to get at least one epic draw out of your draws that you get. So 75,000 is a key point to look at. But like I said, once you get to 250,000 is where you first start seeing the elite start to take the lead. And going up to 400,000, you're seeing it even more and more. Get to 500,000. One thing to notice too is you're getting to the point where you hit 400,000 or 500,000 that the veteran and master chests are starting to give you the same number of cards. Earlier on, veteran was still, a little bit ahead of master in terms of sheer number of cards. You can see here at 150,000, you've got just under 200 cards to about 160. At 250,000, you got 234 to 215. But once you start getting 400,000 and above, this is when your master chests, even though you're not getting nearly as many, just because of the sheer multiplier of how many you get, it really starts balancing out. So to finish out, when you get to 750,000 to 1 million, you can kind of see on average how many cards you're going to pull. So obviously it makes no sense whatsoever to get the initiate chests or even the adept chests at this point. It's simply going elite and master to get the most bang for your buck. At 500,000, argument can be made that you can still get veteran chests, get the top 3 and get pretty much the same amount of chests or same amount of draws. But at 750 to 1 million, the top 2 tiers really kick in. So to kind of summarize really quick, if you're just going to spend a certain amount of glint right off the bat or right at the end of season and you're starting from scratch, you haven't touched the shop at all, if you've got 10,000 glint or less, just go initiate. That's going to give you the best average for getting the most cards that you can, even though it's 1 per. Don't try to gamble and go for the higher level chests. The averages are not in your favor. If you're going to spend 10,000 to 250,000 glint, which I think most people will, I think most people are going to fall somewhere in this range. A lot of players are probably going to be, 80,000, 100,000, 200,000 in that range. This is a very wide range, but I think most players are going to fall in this category. Your best chest to get probably pretty much is going to be veteran. Go for the mid-tier ones. Because as you can see, even if you're spending 75,000, 50,000, you're going to end up with a decent amount of cards over the lower 2 or higher 2 tiers. This really seems to be a sweet spot. Like I said, from 50,000 to 100,000, you're getting a decent amount of these cards compared to all the other ones, whether they're cheaper or more expensive. So definitely, it looks like for a majority of players, veteran's going to be the best way to go. If you're going to spend more than that, If you are playing in the higher leagues and you're going to get up to 1 million glint, you're going to get over 250,000, then probably the best chess for you to get, I keep saying chess, the best draws for you to get is going to be elite, because it looks like elite, especially like I said in the higher ones, starts to surpass on average the amount that you would get in the veteran draws. And once I hit 1 million, it looked like master is really starting to catch up. So I think if you go above 1 million glint, which I don't know why people would get cards after 1 million glint, because I think most people are going to go for titles. But if for some reason you're just going for cards, even though I didn't go past 1 million, it looks like master is really going to start to take off. Plus, not only that, you're going to get a little bit fewer commons, and you're going to start getting more of the epics and the legendaries. So it just depends on how much glint. Like I said, for the bronze players, the players aren't going to get very much glint or have alt accounts. Just go with the initiate, best bang for the buck. Most people, veteran, the people in champion and elite, and the people that go absolutely crazy with glint, go for master. Okay, so now let's look at part 2 for maximizing how many gold cards or legendary cards that you can get. One point that I want to make very clear and just kind of shout it out so people realize this: don't use potions for the low level chests. Turn them off. For initiate, adept, and veteran draws, the odds of you getting anything good, any gold cards or legendaries are so minuscule, it's really not worth it. Just not using potions to get a gold foil for initiate is only 0.5%. So if you double that and it goes to 1%, it's really negligible. You're really not going to notice. So don't waste your potion trying to turn that 1 card gold in initiate level, or trying to get that legendary to go from 0.1% to 0.2%. So the odds are not in your favor. It's really not worth it. If you're looking for gold cards, I would use potions at the elite and master tier, especially the gold cards, not so much the legendaries, because going from 4% to 8% is huge, and going from 6 to 12% is even better. So if you're really just looking for gold cards, definitely use your potions at elite and master tier. Legendary, if all you're looking at legendary, I would even turn your potions off at elite. I would only use them for master. I mean, yeah, to go from 1.6 to 3.2 sounds like a lot, but it really isn't. So once again, just to kind of stress it again, turn your potions off. If you're curious on how to do that, if you go to Splinterlands, log in, right on your main page on the upper right underneath your name will be, if this will load, let me just go ahead and reload it. If you click on your name up here and go to settings, you click on settings, this will pull up a screen, and on the bottom left will be a slider, and it will say do not use potions for reward cards. Go ahead and turn this on. Turn this on and save it. You don't want to use potions for reward cards if you're just going to go for the bottom 3 draws. Okay, now that we know that, how to get a guaranteed legendary, it's so difficult to get a guarantee. I mean, the odds are that you're not going to get one, unless, of course, you get the higher level chests. But let's just say you wanted to try to get one at initiate or adept level. To get a legendary, you would have to buy 1,000 draws at initiate, and it's just, the cost is just astronomical. There's no way you're going to get anywhere near 1,000 draws in initiate. Don't even worry about it. So just forget it at initiate, at adept. Let's look at veteran. At veteran, you have a 1% chance to get a legendary without a potion. So you would have to buy 100 draws. 100 draws would cost you 1.3 million glint. So odds are you're not going to do that. If you do go the potion route, you only have to buy 50 veteran draws. That's going to cost you about 132,000 glint. So maybe that's worth it to you, not sure. Also realize to buy the potions for legendaries, I believe they cost 80 glint per. So this would cost you another 4,000 glint. So you're looking at just under 136,000 glint for the odds to get a legendary card. For elite, you would have to get 63 draws, which would cost about 605,000 glint without potions. If you're going to do it with potions, that brings it down to 138. So pretty close for veteran and elite, the glint cost to try to pull a legendary card. And then for a master draw, so if you try to do master draws to get a legendary without a potion, you're going to have to buy 32 draws, 271,000 glint, or if you want to use potions, you would only need 16. So that will take you down to 95,000 glint plus your potion costs. You're looking at about 96,000. So once again, might seem to be obvious, but yeah, master is definitely the way to go if you want to get guaranteed legendary cards. To get your gold foil for initiate, since you have that 0.5% chance, you would have to get 200 draws to basically get one guaranteed going by the odds. No chance of getting that many initiate chests. If you wanted to go with potions and buy 100 initiate chests, that's going to cost you 188,000 glint plus an extra 10,000 for glint potions. These cost 100 per for the alchemy ones. So you're looking at just under 200,000 glint if you wanted to go the initiate route. Going in depth, you're looking at about 58,000 with potions. Veteran and elite pretty close, just under 40,000 with potions, and then master about 46,000 to try to get a guaranteed gold card. Now, this may sound like a lot, but when you figure how many chests that you have to get, how the price goes up by 50% after each batch of 10, you can see why these numbers are as high as they are. And once again, these are just averages. You know, you may get lucky. You may buy one initiate chest for 150 and get a gold card. But on average, that's just not going to happen. So just to kind of summarize again, don't use potions for the bottom 3 tiers. Only use gold foils for the top 2 tiers if you're looking at getting gold. And only use potions for the master cards if you are looking at pulling legendaries. And just to maximize the number of cards you're going to get, like I said, if you have under 10,000 glint, go for the cheapest one. If you're in most people's range, 10,000 to 250, go for the veteran, go for the tier 3 draw. If you have up to 1,000,000 glint, go elite. And if you are a high roller, big time whale, you got 1,000,000 plus, go for master. So I will leave this. I will put a link to my other part 1 video in the description. So if you didn't have a chance to check that out, go ahead and check that out. Hope you guys found this information useful. It took me a few hours to crunch all these numbers. Hopefully they're fairly accurate. I think they are. If you have any questions, please leave those in the comments below. And hope this helps you guys out. Hope this helps you maximize the amount of cards you get. And hopefully enjoy the store. So until next time, stay the course, keep on forging, have fun.